Well, that's absolutely right, Mariam. And, these are extremely tense times here in Afghanistan. Just as foreign troops have actually began their withdrawal from Afghanistan. The number that you mentioned is the official number that keeps rising almost by the hour, because locals, they do put this number, and they have been putting this number much higher since this attack has happened, and it is expected to rise further as it's close to midnight here. There's efforts underway with people searching under the rubble for even more people who have been injured or died in the attack. And we're talking about civilian students and even sick people who are at a hospital that was at the area of the attack. According to the head of Logar's provincial council, there was a mini truck that drove in that area where the dormitory and the hospital were. The people on the truck said that they were coming to distribute food for iftar. Like you mentioned, it's the holy month of Ramadan, and then the explosion happened, buildings collapsed. And again, according to the head of Logar's provincial council, in that dormitory, there were a lot of students who were there ready to take their university entrance exam. And according to him, at least on one floor, there were 25 people there. And he said that he believes that they are all dead. The hospital has been badly damaged. There have been a lot of people who have been transferred here at the emergency hospital in downtown Kabul. And as we speak, there's dozens of people who are gathered outside their hospital trying to find out what's going on with their loved ones. Like you said, the government in a statement openly blamed the Taliban for this attack, though so far no one has claimed responsibility, Mariam.
Thank you very much from Kabul, Filio Contrafuri. Well, securing peace in Afghanistan is at the center of talks taking place in Doha. The US, Russia, China and Pakistan are meeting with Taliban representatives. Osama bin Javed is in Doha and says the earlier attack could pose a threat to progress.
This is the biggest concern that all parties have who are engaged in these talks, that the violence is going to increase in Afghanistan in less than 48 hours when the deadline expires as per the agreement between the Taliban and the United States that all foreign forces will leave. The United States has indicated with its new administration that the US forces are going to be withdrawing gradually. Their withdrawal will begin from May the 1st, but it will not be completed at that time, which has been a long-standing demand of the Taliban. And to discuss that, special representatives and envoys from Russia, China, the United States, as well as Pakistan attended this meeting with the Taliban where all of these issues were discussed. The Taliban insisting that they need to see their prisoners being released. A few hundred of them still remain in Afghan prisons. They need to be delisted from a terrorist organization status by the United Nations, and other demands by the Taliban which they say have not been met by the parties. And the other parties, including the United States, is concerned about the violence. It's concerned about the spike in attacks that have happened since last year when this deal was signed between the United States and the Taliban. All of these international players who are in Afghanistan, not just the NATO forces and the United States, but also neighboring countries, including Iran and Pakistan, have been trying to mediate in these talks as well, trying to tell these parties to come to some sort of a conclusion, because what Afghanistan cannot stand is another war. And as the previous US Secretary of State put it, that this is a graveyard of empires and the United States does not want to be there for an indefinite period of time.